about to start in 1 second. Damn thing. Oh, I hate this. I hate this goddamn motor. Hold on. There we go. Got a new camera, but the stand that it's on is kind of weird. Kind of a weird stand. What's up, everybody? I like this new camera because I ain't got to turn my light on no more. What's up, everybody? Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for joining. MAGA Hogan kicks the bucket. And welcome, chat room. Welcome, chat room. Salute to the newest mod, Rashad Green. Newest mod up in this motherfucker. DC Static, DSB. Appreciate all y'all for joining. Appreciate all y'all for joining. But I want to jump right into it. Today's show is going to be about the double consciousness of being a Black American. And a lot of the great scholars and Dr. Joy DeGruy, different authors who've talked about this. But look up the double consciousness of being a Black American. There's a double consciousness because on one hand, we're completely American. Our grandparents are American. Our great-great-grandparents are American. So we love this place. Yes, slavery happened, but you know, when to be a Black American, we think about family reunions. We appreciate the fact that we grew up in cities with running toilets and running water. You know what I mean? There's a certain love for America in spite of what America's done for us. To us, I should say. Because they ain't did shit for us. There's a double consciousness. You love this place. You love the heroes that are given to you because they're given to you at an age where before you're known to discriminate. This versus that. Him versus her. You know? You're given that. And then you grow up and you find the people that you love growing up were the biggest pieces of shit racists the whole time. So you end up falling in love as a child with people who hate your goddamn guts. It's happened to us so many times. If you're Black American, born and raised here from the soil, you know what I'm talking about. There's always somebody you grew up really, 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 really loving as a child, as a youngster, because you love the art that they produced, the feeling that they gave you through sport, only to find out that they wasn't shit. So when days like this come, you're left with a mixed feeling. And so today's show is just gonna be honest. I was gonna talk about something else today, but when I saw Hogan died, again, rest in peace, Malcolm Jamal Warner. We knew that one was 100% Malcolm Jamal Warner. On one hand, we had a death earlier this week with Malcolm Jamal Warner, somebody that we completely loved, somebody that never cooned out, who even if he says a thing or two a time here that we didn't agree with, you always felt his spirit. You always felt the love through his spirit. So Malcolm Jamal Warner, that hurt. That hurt. Because he was somebody that was thorough all the way through. Then you hear about Chuck Mangione. He died. You may not have known who he was, but you heard his music. This song was everywhere back in the 80s. This song right here. I'm trying to get to the right part. I heard that song every fucking where. It will be in the background in movies. It will be everywhere. And so he passed away, and he never really said anything that, from what I know, that was crazy. But, we knew Chuck Mangione, even if we didn't know him consciously, we heard his music. So that one, when I heard he died, it was like, damn, okay. He was a descendant. He was a straight up. He was Chuck Mangione was taken by the great Dizzy Gillespie at the age of 15, and he was mentored by the great Dizzy Gillespie from the age of 15 on. And I appreciate him, and I appreciate him spreading the word of Dizzy Gillespie, because the unfortunate fact of the matter, most niggas have no clue of the impact of Dizzy Gillespie. So he was a white dude that carried on Dizzy Gillespie's legacy and always spoke positively of him and of Miles Davis, of Cannonball Adderley, and all the greats that he learned from. So rest in peace to him too. And then Hulk Hogan died. And that left a lot of us with a mixed feeling. On one hand, the 80s were a time, man, and Hulk Hogan was a celebrity. He was a star. You loved Hulk Hogan if you watch wrestling. I don't know nobody that did not like Hulk Hogan from at least up until 91, 92. When we started to get a little older, it was kind of like WrestleMania 6. I was pulling for the Ultimate Warrior over Hulk Hogan. He became my new favorite wrestler in 89. But that was still Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan was a major, major, major part of our childhood. From that episode of the 18, I was just watching the 18 like 2 weeks ago. It was an episode of the 18 with Hulk Hogan, but Isaac Hayes and Rick James was in that same episode. And like Hulk Hogan was helping B.A. Baracus get the prison warden that was that was trying to kill Isaac Hayes. He was everywhere. And you couldn't help but love him. And to give Hogan his flowers, I don't want to completely disrespect the man in death. The 80s was the time to be a star. I was just smoking with my homeboy down the street, and we were talking about the 80s, how the 80s were an anomaly. The fashion was weird. The music was big and loud. Everything was big and loud. Big hair everywhere. Big ass bouffants. All the women had shoulder pads on and highlights and shit. The men had makeup on too. My androgynous ass niggas. The 80s was just a time of extreme grandiose. And there were a handful of people who represented the 80s who were major stars during that time. And to be a star in the 80s is to be a bigger star than anything today. There's nothing today. There's nothing from the 90s on that matches the level of stardom people got to in the 80s. And when it was the 80s, you had Eddie Murphy, you had Michael Jackson, Madonna, you had, the whole glam rock guys. You had Bo Jackson, Michael Jordan. The 80s was a time of big personalities. And right alongside of all those names was Hulk Hogan. Mike Tyson, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis, Sylvester Stallone. These guys were stars. There hasn't been a level of stardom since. Donald Trump. Donald Trump was right there with him. He was always like, who's this Trump guy? I remember asking my dad when I was a kid. I understand Hulk Hogan. I understand Sting, the singer Sting, and the rest of the Sting too. I understand why they famous, but why is Donald Trump famous? And you know what my dad told me? I was like 10 years old. My dad was like, Donald Trump is famous because he a white boy. That's all he is. He just a punk white boy. Only a white boy could be famous for having a building or two. My pops was like, man, a lot of people got buildings. He famous because he a pompous ass white boy. That was my dad. So I'm just setting a context as to how big, because there's a lot of people in this chat, y'all were born in the 90s and the 2000s, and salute to y'all. But Hulk Hogan was the biggest thing you could be at a time that celebrity was a major thing. And so that's the point of view this is coming. I'm 44. You know, so we were raised off of Hulk Hogan. You know what I mean? When you were a kid. And it's funny, Rick Derringer just died about a month ago. The person that wrote the song. He actually died about a month ago, Rick Derringer. It was like when you were a kid and you heard this shit, your life just turned, like it didn't matter what was going on earth. You could have had a bad test. Your mama could have just gave you a whooping. But when you heard this, when you heard that, turn. When you heard that shit, man, fuck what you talk about. When you heard that, growing up in the 80s, man, you could be, man. Yeah, you know, just lost. You was playing basketball with your friends. You just lost 2 games in a row. Like, fuck, man, I'm gonna win. And then you be all mad. Like, damn, pass the ball next time. Why you shoot that? You know you can't shoot. You be mad, and then you hear. You hear that shit, then you be like, all right, nah, nigga, let's go again. Let's go again. That was a time. Am I lying, chat room? That's how much we loved this motherfucker. That's how much we loved him at that time. Then we grew up. And we realized, damn, Hulk Hogan ain't shit. Yeah, they use people, and let's give Mr. T his credit, because Mr. T is really what solidified the fame of Hulk Hogan. Let's not get this twisted. Mr. T was the man in the early 80s. With the A-Team. And I still watch the A-Team. I got that shit. I got the whole series on my goddamn DirecTV DVR. The whole series. God damn it. Mr. T was the guy. And wrestling they partnered with a lot of mainstream avenues to bring Hulk Hogan into the mainstream. And let's never forget that Mr. T is a major reason why Hulk Hogan got to the level of fame that he got. It was through WrestleMania when he wrestled Mr. T. It was Hulk Hogan wrestling Mr. T that really put him on. Mr. T is always, even when it comes to the most famous white boy, oftentimes it's them being put alongside of a black person that gets their attention. Because like I told y'all a long time ago, most white folks hate each other. What'll draw attention to this white boy over that white boy? Put this white boy next to a nigga. That'll draw some attention. And if he's good, if he's the goods, and Hulk Hogan, give him his credit, he was the goods. If he's the goods, he'll get Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese. Angel Reese got way more Twitter followers, made way more IG followers. Angel Reese had a much more Very clear natural following. Put Caitlin Clark next to her, Caitlin Clark blows up. It's like we are these energy magnets. We're like when you look at NASA, when they launch a satellite through space, they have that space go by a planet to get that gravitational pull of the planet and then get spun off further into the universe. Like when they spent the Voyager space mission, the Voyager satellites. Look how they did those Voyagers. They'll send the Voyager off to Mars, and then that motherfucker use Mars' gravitational pull to get some energy. Then whoop through the asteroid belt to Jupiter. Use Jupiter's gravitational pull. Then whoop off to Saturn. That's how they do with us. They generally use our gravitational pull to send their stars into our orbit. And Hulk Hogan, Mr. T, was one of the major slingshots that sent Hulk Hogan into orbit. And it also calmed our defenses down as consumers, as black consumers. Because, like, how 80s thinking, not today's thinking, not 2025 thinking, but 80s thinking, how can he be racist and he's cool with Mr. T? You dig what I'm saying? Using that gravitational pull. So I'm not looking in the chat much, but I'm looking in the chat and I just keep seeing people saying he's racist. We know, motherfucker. Goddamn, listen. I literally have in the title, Death of a Racist, okay? So if you're in the chat room, you're not giving us any kind of new information when you say he's racist. It's in the fucking title. If you don't sit back and listen, goddammit. What's up, Prime Time? Thanks for the super chat. You say you thought that was a Jimi Hendrix beat that Hogan came out to? No, that was Rick Derringer. Rick Derringer died last month. People keep saying he's racist. He's racist. Look at the fucking title. God damn. Y'all must be the same people. When I put the picture of Ric Flair up, it was people in the comments. That's not Hulk Hogan. That's Ric Flair. Duh, nigga. Same thing when Ozzy Osbourne died yesterday. I put a picture of Gene Simmons in there saying "Rip Ozzy Osbourne." Half the comments was, "That's not Gene Simmons. That's not Ozzy Osbourne. That's Gene Simmons. That's somebody else." We know you dumb, stupid motherfucker. God damn. So let's get back to what we talking about. Jeez. Don't be so fucking dense, people. I know Hogan's a racist. It's in the goddamn title. But part of my job, and anybody's job who holds a mic, is to introduce context to whatever you're talking about. That's the only way to be a learned person, is to understand the context of whatever it is being discussed. So once a context is established, we can then go into his racism and things like that. But no, I'm not a shock jock channel. I don't take 8-minute reaction videos. I do long form content for people who got a goddamn brain that's processed enough to listen to long form content, for truck drivers, for teachers, for people who work in nurse stations who just want something to listen to long form. That's what I do. And that's why I don't put out too many clips of what I say, because most of what I say requires a context. That is how this channel works. So if you're new here, context will be given, because I'm not here to mislead people. I'm not here to make people think what the fuck I think. I don't give a shit if people agree with me or not. I'm not here to be nobody's cult leader. I'm here to give information and give all sides of it, and then you take from it wherever the fuck you take from it. But stop being stupid. So let's get back into it. So that's the context of Hulk Hogan, who we grew up to love. And then we saw that he's a racist. And how do we know he's a racist? Well, you would hear different things different wrestlers said. All right, do y'all remember right before the Ultimate Warrior died? The Ultimate Warrior was a racist too, by the way. But the Ultimate Warrior was going to put out a lot of information on Hulk Hogan back in 2007. And then Hulk Hogan put out a cease and desist. And Ultimate Warrior was always telling us, he's not who you think he is. He's not who you think he is. Macho Man. All the different people around wrestling would all talk about Hogan being one thing on camera and something else off camera. You dig what I'm saying? Hey, who's that in the chat room? Hey, Miles, don't ban him. As long as this dude Base Logic is in here, please don't ban him. I want this person to sit here. These motherfuckers mad at everything that I'm saying. So Miles, don't ban this guy. Let him stay. Because the longer he stays, the more he's going to get hurt. Because he's a bitch. That dude Base Logic in the chat, keep him in there. Let him stay as long as he want to stay. Because as long as I talk, that bitch ass nigga's feelings is going to be hurt. So keep him in there, Miles. Don't let him leave. Let him leave on his own. Let him leave on his own. Let me see whose picture is that. Whose picture is that you using? Dude, this nigga look like a fake ass Willow Smith. Man, if you don't sit your fake Willow Smith looking, you a boy that look like a girl. Man, shut up, you hoe. And stay in here and keep staying mad. So back to what we're talking about. So Hulk Hogan, we saw that with Ultimate Warrior, and then we heard the leak recording. It was recording that he didn't want his daughter dating a black guy. And this is what he said. He said, I mean, I'd rather if she was going to fuck some nigger, I'd rather have her marry an 8-foot tall nigger worth $100 million like a basketball player. I guess we're all a little fucking racist, nigger. And that's something that a lot of these athletes don't understand. That's how these white supremacists think. They will raise their little racist ass daughter to get with an athlete. But if you ain't an athlete, you just a nigger. And that's when he came all the way out the bag. His racism hit him so hard that even the WWE suspended him, and they took all of his images out of the Wrestling Hall of Fame. He wasn't spoken on for a few years, but of course he came back because Vince McMahon, I believe, is a racist motherfucker too. Somebody wrote, to be fair. Hey, Knox, why would your black ass want to play devil's advocate with the devil? These are two different things. No, that's not racist if a black person says it. A black person is saying it because a black person can end up like Shannon Sharp. Get it? Black people are told that out of caution because when black people have sex with white people, they end up like Kobe Bryant. The reason why Kobe's not seen as the greatest is because he had sex with that white woman in Colorado. They end up like Shannon Sharp. They end up like OJ. That's not racist. That's safety. That's saying don't think with your dick. You're in danger. All of us can be in danger. Did you not watch Sinners? Don't bring them white folks in here. One thing happened, we all going down. Bringing a white woman around a bunch of niggas can mess every nigga up. That's not racist. Somebody said, don't forget Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez shot somebody. We don't protect criminality around here. Tory Lanez shot somebody. Don't conflate shooting somebody with consensual sex, Shannon Sharp. I swear so many people are goddamn dumb, dense, and slow. Bringing a white woman around a group of black people could put every black person in danger. Do you not know what country you live in? What can a black person do in a room full of white people? Other than get on all fours and toot his asshole up and let them white boys ride him until they got satisfied. So somebody say, you black hypocrites don't like whites either. No, I don't like you. So get the fuck out of my chat room. Who gives a hell about liking and dislike? You can like who you like, love who you love. Just understand what situation you in, Shannon Sharp. And this motherfucker tried to compare Tory Lanez, a Canadian fuckboy that shot somebody. So back to what we talking about. This topic has a lot of these coons and degenerate white boys, non-blacks, mad as fuck. Look, if you mad, motherfucker, I don't care. Go somewhere. Like we're not going. Look, no, matter of fact, don't go nowhere. Stay. As a matter of fact, if you mad, stay. Because I want to keep pissing you off. Let's go. So let's keep pissing these people off. This how else we knew. See, it not only was Hulk Hogan a racist, using that word the way he used it, he never, here's the thing. He never apologized officially to the black community. He didn't give any or donate to any black causes. He didn't apologize directly to any black organizations. He stood 10 toes down, and he only apologized to the WWE so he can get his spot back. When his son had that vehicular manslaughter case, in Rolling Stone, Hulk Hogan brought up OJ. These motherfucking white boys love bringing up OJ, don't they? And what made Hulk Hogan the king of cap, because racists are generally, there's a consistent pattern of behavior with racist individuals. They tend to be low-level scumbag people, period. They tend to just be scumbag across the board. Do y'all remember when Hulk Hogan was saying for years that he said it on the Howard Stern show, and he said it for years that he was in line to be a part of the George Foreman grill. He got offered an opportunity for the George Foreman grill. Y'all remember when he said that? Well, do y'all remember just recently, it had to be about a year now, but within the last year, George Foreman's business partners and family said that Hulk Hogan was never offered the deal. And the people that created the grill said that Hulk Hogan was never part of their plans to market that grill. Their plans was for George Foreman from the moment they made that grill. They came out flat out and said that no. Let me see here. In wrestling news. Oh, that was earlier this year. Look. Hulk Hogan was never offered the George Foreman grill, says the family of the man who invented the grill. This one's like, okay, Not only are you a racist degenerate, you a king of cap. All these years, you've been saying this shit. And rest in peace, George Foreman, too. It's crazy. Who knew both of these would be people be gone by the end of this year? Wow. Um, but you see it right here that the family themselves said that Hulk Hogan was never offered that. That was always for George Foreman. Oh yeah, I thank you for that. The black girl, I knew it was another story. There was that black girl that Hulk Hogan hired. Let me see if I can find that. Let me see if I can find that. There was an assistant that Hulk Hogan like wanted, and that was, here it is. It was a beer brand ambassador. Yeah, he hired the woman, and then once he learned that she was black, he fired her the next day. See, that's what a racist is. A racist is more than somebody who just says nigger. A racist is somebody who denies access to wealth and resources. That's one of the main things a racist does. They deny people access to wealth and resources. That's a racist. You can't do this. You can't make money over here because of the color of your skin. Yeah. He lied and said the events are canceled completely, and they weren't. So what you see here is a chain of behavior from other wrestlers, always questioning Hogan's character, to you've had other wrestlers questioning his character. You had the George Foreman grill thing. You had him bringing up OJ when his own son was facing manslaughter. You had him going at his daughter for dating a nigger. ER, hard ER. You see it. Um, is it me, y'all? Somebody said Triple H is next. Let me see here. Because I want to take some calls, but God damn it, I don't have my phone line set up. I keep forgetting to do it. Instead of me, I can use Google Voice. I can use Google Voice. Well, I don't have Google Voice set up on this phone, so I'm gonna have to wait till we're gonna have to wait till next time. Or unless it's a web-based app, because I would like y'all to call in. All right, try this Google Voice number, y'all. Let me see here. Audio settings. Along while visiting site. All right, cool. Hey, try this number if y'all want to call in. 323-388-3315. 323. Let's see if that comes through. This is the old one right here. Let me 323-388. I'm gonna hear what y'all think. 388. What's the number? 3315. 3315. Let's see here. Why don't y'all call in 388-3315? Let me see if this Google Voice number works. I do want to hear what some of y'all got to say about this shit. 323-388-3315. All right, it's ringing. How do I answer?
From
Mo City.
Oh.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Let's see here. Yo. What the fuck?
I don't know. Fix that shit, though.
Larry?
Yeah, bitch.
Hey, dog, you better fucking call here more goddamn humbly. Nigga.
Why the fuck would I do that?
Nigga, because I'll beat your ass, nigga. I will Hulk Hogan, nigga. I will leg drop you, and I'll goddamn put you in the goddamn full Nelson.
Man, shut the fuck up, bitch. You ain't gonna do none of that. Sounds good, though.
Nigga, yeah. Let's find out. Nigga.
Let's find out. Don't threaten me with a good time. I'll kick your ass.
Nigga, you better be fucking eating your vitamins and stretching and doing everything Hulk Hogan said for you to have a chance to last more than motherfucking 10 seconds in the ring with me.
Nah, man. Get the fuck out of here, man. Hey, what's up with all these coons, dog?
Hey, dog, I don't get it. You got some coon ass niggas that are coming around. That's part of, see, I think, Larry, that's part of the reason why I stopped watching wrestling. Because it was a whole bunch of weird ass niggas. When you look to your left, you see a weird nigga. You look to your right, you see a weird nigga. And at some point, it was like, man, either I'm going to keep clowning these weird niggas or I'm going to have to accept that I'm the real nigga, weird nigga. And I'm not weird. I stopped fucking with it.
Dog, I think probably 86 to 88% of all wrestling fans that are men don't get no pussy. Like, don't get none. Why? Dog, you know what else kills me? These niggas crying and shit online talking about he was one of my favorite childhood heroes and everybody's bringing up their childhood. But I'm like, dog, you know, one thing I used to do in my childhood was piss and shit on myself. And when I learned how to use the bathroom, I started using the bathroom. Once you learn better, you do better. Once you learn somebody is a racist, dog, and you still choose to cheer for him, use the cone. That is just that simple. Like, man, fuck up. Number one, Hulk Hogan was a horrible wrestler. Let's just talk about wrestling. Hey. Dog, your finishing move is a leg drop. Dog, get that shit out of here, dog.
Right, like, Macho Man had the coldest elbow drop. He looked like a nigga when he did it, too. That shit was smooth.
Dog, yeah.
The Triple H sweet chin music, nigga, the Boston Crab, all that shit was dope.
A leg drop, nigga. Your finishing move is a leg drop. Get that shit. You unathletic steroid griddle talk. That's a horrible fucking finishing move. A leg drop. Nigga, leg drop. Well, looks like the Grim Reaper leg drop his whole ass. Fuck Hulk Hogan. Fuck his wife, his daughter. Fuck everything about Hulk Hogan, man. He was trash, dog.
Hey, he was a horrible wrestler. Hey, chat room.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna tell that story, Larry. I was with Larry when Macho Man died. Let me show y'all how sorry Larry Goodwell is. Larry was in my apartment. We was chilling. We was like, if I was around Larry, we was smoking. So I ain't got to bring that part up.
Yeah, we smoking.
We was smoking, and it came across my. I'm going through Twitter, and it was like, "Yo, rip Macho Man Randy Savage," and he's like, "What's going on?" I said, "Man, Macho Man just died. Fuck, Macho Man just died." Larry was like, "Well, how did he die?" I said, "It looked like he had a heart attack and hit a tree." This nigga Larry fell out laughing so goddamn hard. He said, well, that wasn't a macho way to die. That was fucked up. We like Macho Man.
Man, look, I told my brother that Hulk Hogan died, and you know what Kevin said?
What?
Man, that's just another white man, and hung up. That nigga hung up, dog. He just hung up. That's how we were raised. So I remember we used to I used to really root for Hulk Hogan, and my dad was like, man, fuck Hulk Hogan. I'll beat his ass. My dad hated him for no reason. I don't know why he hated him. He knew. He probably knew. He probably knew that Hulk Hogan was there. Yeah, he probably knew.
Yeah, Ronald
somehow,
knew.
some way. Yeah, man. Man, I just wanted to call to see if your Google Voice shit is working. Obviously it is. And I'm going to get back to the broadcast, dog. I hope you have a fucked up day. I hope your day ain't as bad as Hulk Hogan's, but damn near as bad. You piece of shit.
Put like this, if my day is that bad, nigga, I'll fly to Houston and whoop your ass and come back and make it better, bitch. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, ho.
All right. All right, other callers call back. I know it's a few of y'all calling. That was Larry sorry ass Goodwill. Somebody said, F this channel. Well, fuck you too, Uncle Junior. Is your name Uncle Junior? Because your uncle's also your daddy? Sounds like a Hulk Hogan fan. Sounds like a Hulk Hogan fan. Your uncle, your daddy. That's why you named yourself Uncle Junior.
From
Al from Springfield, Missouri.
Press 1. What's up, caller? What's the name? Where you calling from?
I'm Al from Springfield, Missouri.
Al from Springfield. What's on your mind?
Oh, nothing much. Just hearing about this Hulk Hogan passing away and everything else. I agree with some of the callers who just called us a moment ago. White person that just died. But shoot, you know what? You know, white person that that we really should be at least. I mean, I wouldn't give him a whole flower, so I'll just give him just one flower. It's Chuck Mangione. Great jazz musician back in the 1970s and early 80s. My mom used to pop to the music back then. When we had our family gatherings, we'll be playing some Marvin Gaye and everything else. Ronnie Lewis, Ramsey Lewis, Roy Ayers, and then we'll play some Chuck Mangione. Feels so good.
Yeah.
That song. Oh man, that was a song that back in the 70s, man, he could sit up there. It was hot as hell outside.
Yeah, it was.
So R.I.P. to Chuck Mangione today. Peace, brother.
Peace.
Thank you, Juan.
You have a good one. Yeah.
You
Rip to Chuck Mangione. Yeah. We ain't got no issues with all white folks. Chuck Mangione, whatever his personal views was, we don't know. He gave us good music and he died in peace. Hulk Hogan, on the other hand, like how I started this show, Hulk Hogan at one point was an icon. You know, when it comes to being celebrity in the 80s, you did not get no bigger than Hulk Hogan.
Call from
Daisy.
So, we do acknowledge his stardom and how much of an icon he once was. But the minute we find out you don't like black people, then fuck you. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Daisy calling from New Jersey.
Daisy from New Jersey. What's on your mind?
Rest in peace to Hulk Hogan. I was watching WWF Superstars since I was 6.
That's the real deal right there. You said the right word. WWF. I don't fuck with no E. Well, go ahead.
Back in the days, the Junkyard Dog, Kamala, Tatanka, that was my era. Jimmy Superfly Snuka. So Hulk Hogan was the reason why I watched wrestling.
Yes.
I even watched No Holds Barred.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to the late Tiny Lister Jr., a.k.a. Debo.
Uh-huh.
So I'm a huge wrestling fan. So when it came out with what he said about black people, I was like, damn, man, my childhood hero, man. It is what it is. But I can't take away what he brought to the business at that time. And I think that's where people kind of be willfully obtuse. Well, he's racist. We know he's racist, but you can't deny what he brought to the business at that time.
Yeah.
Personally, I thought Macho Man Randy Savage was a better wrestler, had better charisma, but we know Vince McMahon, once he got his horse set, that's who he's going to bet on. So Hogan body slammed Andre the Giant. Hogan was the horse. That was the hero that we all looked up to in wrestling. Now, when people say that, oh, he's racist, so was the Ultimate Warrior, so is Ric Flair, allegedly Shawn Michaels. Some even tried to say Stone Cold was racist. Triple H, allegedly, you know how Vince McMahon gets down. So the business itself is racist. Even how they play black characters, like they never let them get too far. Shout out to Ron Simmons, a.k.a. Farouk, when he had the Nation of Domination. They was only going to let them get for so far. Ahmed Johnson was dominated. Didn't let him get far but the Intercontinental Champion. You see how they did Mark Henry when he first came into wrestling, had him in this affair with Mae Young. She was like 1,000 years old. How they did Big Sexy Viscera. It was always stereotypical. You could even go as far as Kofi Kingston in the New Day. People forget about Shelton Benjamin when he was dominating wrestling, like as the premier black stars.
Mm-hmm.
That business is racist as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
However, you cannot deny what they brought to the business. The only one I think is still left standing that you don't hear anything negative about is Sting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but other than that, it is what it is, guys. Rest in peace to Hogan. He a racist piece of shit, but he was a wrestling icon and legend. You can't take that away from him.
That's real talk. That's real talk.
You can't do it.
Thank you for that.
So I appreciate you, Dewan. Have a good day. Catch you later.
Thanks. And that's what we're talking about.
Oh.
You know, this is the double consciousness of being black in America. This is what we're talking about, the double consciousness. On one hand, like I started the show, for those of you who are here at the beginning, I spent the first 20 minutes talking about how much of an icon Hogan was and what he meant and to the world of just stardom. Bigger than wrestling. Hulk Hogan was bigger than wrestling. This is flat out true. He was bigger than wrestling. And so we gotta acknowledge that, and the people, and like the caller just said, I'm getting 1 second. I'm getting 1 second, caller. And like the caller said, most of wrestling is racist. Hell, I'm an NBA fan. The NBA is hella racist. The NFL is racist. That's part of the double consciousness of being black in America. A lot of the things that you trust, grow up on, love, that are part of your identity, the part of your life, grand childhood and markers throughout your life from youngster through adulthood, oftentimes it's racist institutions. And so we're left with this double consciousness. We love people, we love institutions, we love businesses that hate us in return. So that's what we're talking about today on this show, about that, and we're acknowledging that as black people. And we're not going to allow people who are not from our community to come in and say, don't think that way. No, he wasn't racist. Just because you like wrestling don't mean Hulk Hogan wasn't racist. Just say you like wrestling, but don't come around this room saying we shouldn't talk about this because you like that. No, we talk about it all because we're intelligent enough to talk about it all. What's up, caller? What's the name? Where you calling from?
Ernest Claiborne, Montgomery, Alabama.
Ernest Claiborne from Montgomery, Alabama. What's on your mind?
Man, brother, I'm enjoying your program, and this is really something for me because I'm 49 years old. I'm about to turn 50. So the other caller was talking about Jimmy Superfly Snooker, the cartoons, all that stuff. I grew up on this stuff. You know, I'm a child of the 80s.
Yeah.
And when they kicked Hulk Hogan out of the Hall of Fame, I thought it was wrong. Of course, you know, what he said was wrong. You know, even though he's cheating and, you know, think he's okay to do it, but you can't trust anybody when you got money because they will try to screw you. And people recorded him. He didn't know about it. He still shouldn't have said it, no doubt. but everybody makes mistakes. And Muhammad Ali, right? I think Muhammad Ali is the greatest fighter, right? But if we kick him out of the WBC Hall of Fame because he said that a black man that dates a white woman should be lynched, that would be wrong. The Hall of Fame wouldn't be worth anything. It wouldn't be worth a grain of salt because he's one of the best. And just like, you know, we all fall short, Muhammad Ali wasn't perfect, but he was a hell of a man.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on. I hear what you're saying, but hold on. I gotta stop that conflation right there, Muhammad Ali.
Well, I'm
no. I'm gonna let you finish. No.
Yeah, I'm just making a point.
I'm saying that we can't move forward with that point because the context.
Well, can I finish?
I'll let you finish.
Can we talk about it?
I'll let you finish. I'll let you finish when I make my point. Because this is my show, so I got to talk about callers too, about my listeners. The reason why we can't, the reason why we can't make that conflation with him and Ali. Ali was talking about it again. How I started the show, full context. First 20 minutes, I gave Hogan his flowers. Full context. When he talked about that, when it came to dating white women, that's because when black men date women, like I said earlier in the show, that can get everybody in the black community messed up, and it has oftentimes. Going back to Black Wall Street, the reason why Tulsa was burned down was because a black man and a white woman were seen in a movie theater together, coming out of a movie theater on the black side of town. That pissed white people off, and the whole black city got burned down because of that. That was the context, Martin. That's the context that someone like a Muhammad Ali is speaking from when it comes to a black man dating a white woman. When it comes to Hogan, he was speaking from the context of my daughter's too good for a nigger unless he play basketball
in NBA. Yeah,
that's a different context, so we cannot conflate the two.
That's a horrible thing to say.
But go ahead.
And we both agree on that. That's a horrible thing to say. But before you stopped me, what I was saying was he belonged in the Hall of Fame based on his merit, because based on the meritocracy. So when they took Hulk Hogan out of the Hall of Fame, I thought he still should have been in the Hall of Fame based on his merit. And Muhammad Ali, in my opinion, and I've studied Ali, he did that because he was a member of the Lost and Found Nation of Islam in the wilderness of North America. And that's what his religious value system and his political value system was at the time. I believe that's why he said it, you know, because he was Cassius X, then he became Muhammad Ali. But I'm just saying that to say, I think that he belongs on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling. You know what I'm saying? I think that he made an impact, but we all fall short. And I agree with everything you said. I'm not arguing with you about anything because I agree with all of it. We got to judge people on their totality. It's the whole picture. But just like Brian Stevenson says here in Montgomery, Alabama, that we shouldn't be judged just on our worst moment. You know, every man is.
And I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but no, we're not judging him on his worst moment. I don't know if you're watching the whole show, but we talked about him lying about the George Foreman grill. We talked about the list of wrestlers from the.
He lied about the grill.
Yes,
I didn't know about that.
Yes, that's why you got to listen to the show.
Okay, because I've heard
the family. Let me talk. The family came out. The family of the people who made the George Foreman grill came out and said that Hulk Hogan was never in their plans. It was always George Foreman. We also talked about what the Ultimate Warrior said. He was in that. Ultimate Warrior was in that midget races, but right before he died, he was getting ready to put out some stuff on Hulk Hogan to prove that he wasn't the person that he all said he was. And when you go back and listen to a lot of the wrestlers at the time that Hulk Hogan was suspended, they all talked about his character. Not me. I'm talking about the other wrestlers. Other wrestlers, when you watch WWF documentaries, other wrestlers don't have much good to say about the guy. So the reason why I'm talking about this and from the context I'm talking about is, yes, he's a racist, and that's my connection to what I have an issue with him for. But along with him being a racist, he didn't make a mistake. It wasn't a moment in time. His co-workers basically said he wasn't shit. You know, and he lied about the George Foreman grill, and he tried to conflate when his son murdered somebody with a car accident, that to OJ. This is a pattern of a scumbag, and so that's why today's show is talking about the double consciousness. On one hand, this guy's a legend. We love what he did. He's a part of our childhood that we can never let go. On the other hand, he was this scumbag, and that's why we're having this show. and talking about
Right.
it.
We all fall. I got you, brother. We all fall
Some people
short.
fall
I
short.
mean,
Some people ain't shit, and he seems to be on the ain't shit side.
okay. Either way, you either die young or live long enough to be the villain. And you know what I'm saying? I'm not disagreeing with anything you saying, brother. I just want to share my thoughts, man. I'm enjoying your progress.
Yes, sir.
I'm
Thanks for,
gonna keep an eye on what you're doing, man. Keep on doing what you're doing, brother.
thanks for giving us a call, my brother.
All right, appreciate you.
Uh-huh. There we
Call
go.
from
Chaotic 808.
What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, I'm from San Diego, California. FBA. Name is
San
Kevin.
Diego.
Yes, sir.
So what's on your mind?
Oh man, just want to kind of elaborate on what the brother was saying before I just got on, and I disagree with the brother wholeheartedly for the simple fact that I think that one of our problems as FBAs is we have a tendency to be too forgiving. The brother was Hulk Hogan. I grew up. I'm 59 years old. Hulk Hogan was, I grew up watching Hulk Hogan, and I liked WWF wrestling back then. But I will say that once you expose your hand, then I'm off of it. Period. And I feel like all FBAs, our biggest problem is that one of our biggest problems is that we're too forgiving when it comes to other people's hate when it comes to us. Forgive, but in a certain way, you can forgive, but you can have a loving heart and a kind heart. But what I want us to do is to have that same energy when it comes to ourselves.
Right.
That's my biggest thing.
Right.
When we can look at each other, kind of defensively and not say, "Hey, how you doing, brother?" and make ourselves feel, like we're on code. That's what time it is with me. So I'm not trying to forgive, and I'm gonna land my plane on this note. I'm not trying to forgive, and I'm not trying to forget what people's energy is towards me and my people. Period.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you very much, too, brother.
You're right. You're right, man.
call from
What's up, caller? I'm gonna make this one point, then I'm gonna get right to you. Hold on, caller. Right?
Okay.
Look, I'm gonna go back on what that brother just called. That just said, black people, you don't owe anybody anything. Like my John Henry Clark T-shirt that you can find at DewanB.com. Black people don't owe anybody anything but an ass whooping. We don't just, he was people make mistakes. Yeah. Look, when somebody don't, whatever happened to just look, if somebody don't like you, and like black people were nowhere around. We ain't nowhere around. We ain't took nothing from you. We ain't stole nothing from you. We ain't bothering you. Why in the hell are we the subject? When we become the subject, when we not even around, and people want to go ahead and be racist towards us, all my thing is this. Whatever. They're not going to change. They are who they are. But once you make that move, I know who you are. And you're not owed my forgiveness. You made the move. I didn't do nothing to you. I didn't say nothing to you. You don't have to forgive. You don't even have to explain. You can still like the feeling. You can't get rid of the feelings that Hulk Hogan gave you when the mega powers got together. That was one of the greatest moments of 1988 when Macho Man and Hulk Hogan, when they had that handshake, they're like, look here, brother. Ooh, yeah. We on the same team now. Man, nigga, I was pumped up. I went to school that next Monday like, what? Who wants some? Who wants some? Nigga, that shit had me pumped up when I was a kid. I don't want to lose that feeling. But I still don't owe that degenerate anything because he just, he made him. No, fuck him. And I still, and thank you for the good feelings too in 1988. We can have both. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Jacoby from Portland, Oregon, Dewan.
From Portland, Oregon. Yeah. What's up, brother? How's it going?
Man, I had better days. Now, I don't need to watch the whole stream to know Hulk Hogan wasn't shit. I knew that since that leak came out of that audio where he called a nigger and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't like that word. That was it for me. That was it. Look, Vince McMahon didn't even like him because he was a snitch. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that point up. Can you expound on that?
Yeah, it was a steroid scandal going around, and they had some issues. And instead of him keeping it on GP, he almost brought WWF to the brink of
Yes.
who. So, and that was during the time, the birth of the Monday night, like the
Monday Night Raw
wars between WCW
and when he
and
went on
WWF.
Arsenio, he got specific instructions before he went on Arsenio about the whole steroid thing, and he fucked it all up and then bounced.
Yeah, and so since that time, Vince and them, they never got on good terms. And Vince is a person that's like, racist or not, you try to F me, you're on my shit list until I feel like you're not on the shit list anymore. Because technically, Vince McMahon made Hulk Hogan. And I stumbled onto some YouTube channels of how Hulk Hogan got his gimmick. He got his gimmick from another guy dressed just like him, but the problem was when he was in WWF, it was not his time. It was like the wrong place at the wrong time. Like you fit the mold, but you're not at the right time where people want to see that. It was till then Hulk Hogan took that man's gimmick, got the golden hair, got the muscular and all that stuff, and started doing the pump and all that, and doing his signature gimmick. And so Hulk Hogan is known for taking other people's shit, now, and I don't shit on the dead. I don't. But what do you want me to say to that? When you know somebody is a racist, you don't keep fucking with the person who's still a racist. I mean, come on, man. I mean, what are we justifying for? I'm not saying he didn't do what he was supposed to do and marketed the shit with Andre the Giant. I'm not saying that. But I cut it off, man. I cut it off. I mean, I grew up in the 80s. I didn't follow wrestling that much. However, towards my high school years, I started following wrestling during the Attitude Era.
Mm-hmm.
That was some shit right there. If you go look back then, that was DX, and you had Nation Domination.
Yeah, that's when I started back watching wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, that was something else. And Mark Henry. Now, Mark Henry was that dude. He was the world's strongest man. And I mean, so there are other people who really paved the way and really did what they're supposed to do. Hulk Hogan's not just one person. He's a small piece in a bigger pond. And I want people just to understand that. When people get out of line and they don't fix it, I'm not saying we're not forgiving folks. Because we can forgive people if they really, truly, honestly messed up and did out and gone out their way to fix it. But Hulk Hogan never went out his way to fix it because that's how. I mean, right. This is who he is. This is who he is. I mean, this man got hustled by his wife. His wife took it all. She said, I'm done, and took everything. Okay, and I do mean everything in the shopping cart and his hair.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So I mean, look, this man was so popular in the '90s. They had a TV show called Thunder in Paradise.
Yeah, I remember that shit. That show was terrible. I remember trying to watch that shit and I couldn't.
Thunder in Paradise.
I tried to watch that. It was like, man, Hogan, my guy, but goddamn, this shit sucked.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at me, it's like, man, is this how we were living back in the day? Like, man, we better not tell our kids this. So,
but man, it's always dope when you call in, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Blessings.
Man, thanks for giving us a call.
You're welcome, man.
Yeah, man. Like, look, black people, you don't have to fight. It's not like you don't have to forgive him. What's up, caller? Hold on 1 second, caller. I'll get right to you.
Press 1 to send a voicemail.
There we go. I'll go to that. Hold on 1 second, caller. I'm gonna finish this point. Then I'm gonna get right to you. Like black folks, you don't have to choose. You don't have to ignore what he did racist and to still feel good. Look, you don't, and you have no reason to apologize. What happened when Kobe Bryant died? What was the first thing white media did? They brought up that accusations that he wasn't even goddamn convicted of. They brought up some accusations. And because Kobe was accused one time in his life, that forever barred him from being the greatest player of all time. He was just in the finals the year before that. They were saying that he's possibly better than Jordan. The minute he touched that white girl, that nigga couldn't crack the top 5. Couldn't win no MVPs. Matter of fact, there was a sports writer just a couple months ago, I gotta look it up, that came out and admitted that the sports writer shorted Kobe out of 3 MVPs because of the situation in Colorado. These people you dealing with, man, you sneeze wrong, you never gonna get forgiven. And these are the people who actually hold the power. We don't hold no goddamn power to deny anything from anybody. The only power we hold is our opinions. So don't ever let no one guilt you into changing your opinion. You can like the old days of Hulk Hogan, a wrestler, and still be like, I'm not fucking with the dude because he a racist. Look, let's see how the small hats, have they forgiven Mel Gibson yet for his rant? Have they? Huh? When's the last time you seen Mel Gibson featured in a blockbuster film since that whole situation in his rant? Huh? But they're telling you got to forgive. What's up, caller? What's the name? Where you calling from?
80 Owen, Underhanded, Indiana.
Indiana. What's on your mind, brother?
Yeah, rest in peace, Hulk Hogan, man. I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I remember when I was a youngster, my uncle took me to the main event. It was Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, Ted DiBiase, I think.
Yeah.
Andre won the belt, and he gave it to Ted DiBiase. I'll never forget that, man. It was actually on a Friday. It was a main event, not Saturday night. So, yeah, man. But yeah, like you're saying, man, it bring back a lot of memories, you know what I'm saying? Wrestling and all that old school stuff. And one thing I remember as a kid, the caller spoke on WWF Superstars. I was watching it. It was a Saturday. I think it was around WrestleMania 3, I believe. Coco Beware was about to wrestle Butch Reed. So Coco Beware was wrestling. And then in the corner, they had the little interviews. They had Butch Reed up there talking bad about Coco Beware. He dropped the N-word on him. I was like, oh, snap. Mm-hmm. Like, it messed me up. But, like, WWE, all that wrestling stuff is for them. You know what I mean? We all see that. Because what you see right now, they bringing people from all over who ain't about nothing, and they make them champs. And the brothers hold the belt for a little bit. And then
just to shut us up.
1, 2, 3 or so. Yeah. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? He had it all, and he fell from grace because of racism. So, I mean, I used to have the WWF figurines. I bought the Hulk Hogan figurine where he was wearing the white and red.
Yeah.
Man, I gave it to my cousin. My cousin ended up giving it away. And I'm like, man, that shit would be worth some money right now. So, you know what I mean? Yeah, but thanks, man. Shout out to you, and shout out to your commentary, man. Shout out. Peace.
Yes, sir, man. You have a good one. Yeah. We can do both. What's up, caller? What's the name? Where you calling from?
Man, it's Tyrone Mitchell up out of South Carolina. What's happening, Dwayne?
Tyrone, what's on your mind, my brother?
Hey, man, I was listening to the playback. I'm a little late, but I heard old buddy talking about he trying to compare Muhammad Ali to Hulk Hogan. Man, that dude crazy as hell, man. That man sound like he done did Hogan balls up out the grave, son, and gargling them shits in his mouth, man. What kind of crazy ass shit is that? And I'm sorry if I'm touching too much on your show, but tell him go ahead with that bullshit.
Y'all niggas is fools. Hey, you a fool for that, man. Thanks.
Man, I appreciate it, but that's all I wanted to say. I've been listening to you for a minute, but I said, man, I had to chime in on this. Ain't no way he compared that bastard to goddamn on Muhammad Ali, man. He's tripping, cuz.
Hey, man, thanks for this call. I'm going to expound on what you just said, man. Thanks for that, but get me back on that track. I'm about to react to what you just said. Yeah.
Hey, man.
Yeah, man, you have a good one.
I want you too.
Man, he's right. See, black people, look. I'm glad that caller called back to get me back to that point. Black Americans. There is no comparison when you compare a black people's preference from white people's demands. There's no preference. There's no comparing the two at all. And let me show you how there's no comparing the two. Let me show you how. What's up, caller? Hold on. I'm going to finish this point, and I'm going to pick up. Hold on one second, caller. You cannot compare the two. Racism deals with the direct denial of resources from one American to the other based on the color of their skin. When black people say things about dating interracially, that is for protection of the community because the community is at risk. I'll give you an example. One time I was in Vegas in a limo. I'm in a limo. This is back when limos were still popping. I'm in a limo in Vegas. We had Opium in Caesar's Palace. That club that used to be in Caesar's Palace, Opium. And it was 3 NBA prospects, me, an NBA assistant coach, and a white girl. The assistant coach had the white girl, and he was also a trainer too. And it was 3 NBA prospects and me. That white woman flipped out on the coach. They had some relationship stuff. And she called him the N-word while me and 3 NBA prospects are in a limo. I had a decision. Do I make a point right here or do I calm everything down? Because if something does happen, who are they going to blame? The NBA prospects, 2 first-round picks and a third round and a second-round pick? Or this other guy who's just kicking it? I'm just there. They're the homies to me. I'm just kicking it. This NBA coach is trying to show these 3 NBA prospects a good time so that these 3 NBA prospects could sign with the agent that he's trying to get them with. And it's just random old me. That white woman said some things that night, and some things happened to where if anything happened, all of us in that car would have been fucked up. When black people make decisions and do things with white people, we are all at risk. That's just an American fact. When they say stuff to us, like what Hogan did, it's a power dynamic. Him saying he doesn't want his daughter with a nigger unless she's a basketball player, you can draw a direct line to July 3rd, 2024, when that black online influencer was signed for a position over the phone, and the minute he saw she was black, he fired her and kept all of the other white assistants. That's racism. You can't make this money. You cannot get this access to wealth and resources because of the color of your skin. You see the difference, you dumbasses? All right, caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
This is EJ out of Atlanta.
EJ out of Atlanta. What's on your mind?
Man, what's going on, Dewan?
Man, chilling. What's going on?
I'm going to say it real quick and fast. It don't take me long. Fuck Hogan. I didn't give a fuck about that bitch. He can get fucked with a sick dick and die slowly, and apparently he had already done that, so I'm all right with that too.
He said, I'm all right with that too. Hey, that's just what it is, brother. Once you tell me who you are, that's just what it is.
That's the type of shit I move on, because I'm like, I already knew that, you know, a lot of this this shit in the wrestling arena is racist here anyway. Like, you remember Scott Steiner went through some shit like that at some point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I was born in the 90s, so I grew up and just realized some of this shit, and I started cutting that shit out by the time I hit the early 2000s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I was like, nah, I'm good on this shit.
Yeah, I'm good.
But as far as Hogan went, I was just like, I never liked his ass anyway, so why the fuck I'm going to feel any type of empathy or pity for the motherfucker? So I was like, nah, fuck him.
Hey, man, thanks for that, man. I just love the call. Thanks for that. He said that brother had no forgiveness at all. He said, fuck him. Whoever that was called back. I don't know what happened. I tried to pick up and didn't pick up. But yeah, that's the difference. When you're a racist white person, and you have power like Hulk Hogan, you have the power to accept and deny people access to resources. Remember, racism always comes back to the access of wealth and resources. Hold on one second, caller. Racism in practice comes back to the denial of wealth and resources. That's racism. And that's why when we say black people do not have the power to be racist, it's because we do not have the power to accept or deny wealth and resources from groups of people based off the color of their skin. The only thing we can do is offer an opinion. Hulk Hogan can offer someone access to wealth and resources, and we saw just within a year, almost a year to the date of him denying a black woman wealth and resources, he croaks. There's a huge difference between that and Muhammad Ali saying, don't bring a white girl around here because a white girl around here can get us all fucked up. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Nuwan B? This Frank calling for Detroit.
Frank from Detroit. What's on your mind?
Oh, nothing. I'm just, first off, you really talk about how you a boy, but you look like a girl. But yeah, man, I'm 48 years old, man. So that was my era too, with Hulk Hogan, all through the 80s. But my the wrestler I like was Jake the Snake Roberts. But I'm gonna be brief. Like a couple callers said earlier, when I seen Hulk Hogan had said that, I was like, fuck him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm not disrespecting the dead, but yeah, fuck Hulk Hogan. And then as far as Chuck Mangio goes, I got it seen in the group chat that I'm in a couple hours earlier that he passed. He said Chuck Mangio from Feel So Good fame. Now, I got my love of jazz from my parents, and shoot, that song was always playing.
It was. And again, like he's somebody who he kept his political opinions to himself, and he always gave it up to Dizzy Gillespie and Cannonball Adderley and the black artists that really gave him the game. So again, this channel isn't racist. Like you said, we black folks, we ain't racist. Only thing we say is leave us the fuck alone. How are these people mad at us for being mad at somebody that didn't leave us alone? Just leave us alone, and we can all be cool. Had Hulk Hogan just minded his own business, he ain't around no black folks. Like, hey, had he been a man of character and his wrestling co-workers had better things to say about him, had he not gone on camera lying saying, well, the George Foreman grill was mine first, he'd be all right. Everything we're talking about is something that Hulk Hogan volunteered. Period.
I got one more question before I get off the phone.
Go ahead.
Do you like fusion jazz?
Yeah.
So when I like artists like John Lupanti, Pat Metheny, rest in peace to his pianist Lyle Mays. He died like last year.
Yeah, George Duke.
I want to do. Yeah. I was like, I want to do Duane, listen to that type of jazz.
Oh yeah, if you listen to my Incense and Ashtrays, I play a lot from the jazz funk fusion. That's probably my favorite genre, subgenre of funk, jazz funk fusion.
Okay.
But
I want to hold the other callers.
Yeah, Hammond Smith. Yeah. But yeah, we be playing some of that stuff. That's my shit. But thanks for giving us a call.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Roger Meadows with the super chat. Roger Meadows with the super chat.
Jay Stump.
Let's see. 1 second. Hold on, caller. Let me finish this and I'll get right to you. Roger Meadows with the super chat said Jesse found out during steroid case. Vince said that Hogan was the one who told him about Ventura forming a union. Oh, I forgot about that. Roger Meadows, thank you in the super chat. Wrestlers were going to form a union. The wrestlers, the WWF wrestlers, were getting to form a union, and it was Hulk Hogan that went and snitched. Hulk Hogan was like goddamn Diddy and Jay-Z going and telling, I don't know if Jay-Z, I know Diddy's part of that, but I like Diddy going and telling them folks that, Suge Knight is getting ready to put together a distribution label. Hulk Hogan was the way white supremacy works against black people, it works against rank and file white people too. It's the same system, except for when it comes to us, they get on cold when it comes to color. When we're not around, same shit. There's always going to be a snitch that gets in the way of collective bargaining. And Hulk Hogan was that slime ball. Cloudy 80 says, Ben saying a lot of black people posting rip to a race is mind blowing. Thanks for keeping on cold. Appreciate that, Cloudy 80 degrees. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Jay Stone out of OC, California, and I want to start off by saying that I feel nothing for Terry Bodella, aka Hulk Hogan. He is one of many anti-black racists within the pro wrestling industry, and as far as I'm concerned, I don't give a damn about him. You know, motherfuckers like him are the problem. You know, because in the pro wrestling, I was watching it, you know, since a youngster, and I even to now I still somewhat watch it, but the guy was a piece of shit. He's a horrible human being, you know. He had no respect for black people. A lot of those motherfuckers are. As a matter of fact, there's a wrestler by the name of Dusty Rhodes. He passed away many years ago, and he stole his whole gimmick from a black pro wrestler named Rufus R. Jones. His whole gimmick, he stole that. And it's funny because his son right now is like married to a black woman. So I'm just like,
that's crazy.
That's what his son, Cody Rhodes, married to some black girl named Brandy Rose. They got a mixed kid together. So yeah, a lot of those motherfuckers are racist. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, all of them. But before I get off on, I want to ask you one quick question. Is it possible I can promote like a FBA Pro Wrestling not organization, but news channel on YouTube? Is it cool with you?
Email me first, all right? But I don't mind, but email me first, all right? I got to be fair for a few other people who ask me that question.
All right.
All right, man. Thanks.
Peace.
Yeah, I don't mind a promotion, but email me first because I do have a system that I do with the promotions, and I have different tiers and everything. But I don't want to be unfair to someone else who recently asked me that question. I don't want to be unfair to them. I don't want to be unfair to them. What's up, caller? Hold on one second, caller, before I get right to you.
Okay.
Lloyd Hinton, thank you for the Cash App, Lloyd Hinton. Jamal, thank you for the Cash App. Ebony, thank you for the Cash App. And Sharon, thank all four of y'all for the Cash App. Much appreciated. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's going on, Brother Dwayne? This is Brother Gav G from New Orleans. How you doing?
Oh, what's up, Gavin? How's it going?
Oh, man, it's going fine. I just getting out of work and I saw the news, and I'm thinking the same shit you thinking. I want to lay it down for the people if I could.
Go ahead.
Man, just like the previous caller was calling in, if you ever go on YouTube and look up Teddy, the wrestling manager, I think is Teddy, I can't think of his last name. People know who I'm talking about, but he's the one that's supposed to just, Teddy Long, that's him. He did stories about how when he was working in like the independent circus, how racist a lot of people were, and even Ric Flair had said some stuff to him once. And it's a shame and it's sad because you look at that, and I'm looking at as a kid in the 80s and 90s, Hulk Hogan was one of and Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Randy Savage, all those guys were like larger than life.
That was my holy trinity too back in the day, man. Shit.
Yeah. Ric Flair, I mean, even with WCW, like I liked Lex Luger, and when they fought the NWO with Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, yeah, those were our heroes. And you hear stories about how racist a lot of those motherfuckers were. I heard stuff about Dusty Rhodes with him. I remember reading a shoot interview with Bad News Brown. I don't know if you remember him. But
yeah.
He called out Vince McMahon because he wanted to name Dusty Rhodes' girlfriend, a black woman, Sapphire. And he took offense to that because he's like, Sapphire was a character from Amos and Andy that he didn't like. And you hear a lot of the shit that goes on. But, I mean, WWF, if you remember as a kid, they used to do a lot of slick stuff like the Jimmy Fly Snooker with the coconut and so forth. You know, even Jesse Ventura called Tito Santana's move like the flying burrito. They've always done slick stuff back then, but here's my take. Yes, Hulk Hogan was like my hero. I remember seeing No Holds Barred as a kid. My dad taking it. I remember Mr. Nanny and all the pressure, you know, those things like that.
Man,
but,
I thought I was scared. Man, I was scared of Debo when he was on No Holds Barred. Remember when he was leading up to Zeus? Man, I was scared for Hulk Hogan's life. That's how much I love Hulk Hogan. I thought Zeus was gonna kill him.
Yeah, a lot. And you know, the guy, the brother who was with Harlem Heat, Stevie Ray,
Yeah.
he had an interesting analogy when he was talking about how racist Hogan was. He said Hogan had actually, believe it or not, helped give him and Booker T a push in WCW. He told him that was their best tag team. But and he said, I'll always respect Hogan, but he says I don't have to, I don't condone what he said, and I don't support the shit because you know how many people go to work with somebody who might be a racist or a drug addict or a porn addict, whatever, and you wouldn't know it. And Hogan, what he was saying basically, he didn't like the fact that somebody was messing with his daughter, a black man, and his ugly ass daughter, because she wasn't that attractive to me anyway. I don't know. That's just brothers that go to the bottom of the barrel at times.
She looked like Ric Flair.
Yeah, I think she looks like Charlotte Flair that got hit in the head 10 points over. She kind of looks like Charlotte a little bit. But yeah, David. But yeah, man, it's so it's a mixed feeling with it. I don't, of course, condone. I don't gloat over somebody dying or anything, but it's just like I'm not too sad. Like I'm not crying over it, but I'm remembering my childhood. That's how I'm struggling because even Ultimate Warrior had said some stuff in the past, and Warrior was
right before he died.
Fan of
he said all kind of crazy shit about us.
Warrior said stuff. The only one I've heard that was cool was like Randy Savage was very cool with stuff. Kevin Nash, believe it or not, because Stevie Ray even talked about this. He said how Kevin Nash is from Detroit, so he could tell you everything about all the Motown acts and R&B stuff, and he said, Hulk Hogan, that's all that's pushed to us. All we pushed when we were kids was what? James Bond and Leave It to Beaver and Indiana Jones, and they're all Batman and Superman. They're all white.
Mm-hmm.
We all as kids grew up with them, and I don't think Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair probably understood that, but black children looked up to them. So it was disappointing when he made those remarks came out.
They knew they would go outside. They would go to Atlanta and see all them niggas out there cheering them on. They knew.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. That's true too. Yeah, man. Even
they made a choice. Like, look, racism is embedded in people from childhood, but when you get older, you have a choice to either accept what was given to you or reject it. All of us was taught bullshit. When you look at people like them, like Hogan, Ric Flair, and that were out there and they saw all those black people who absolutely adored and loved them. The fact that Hulk Hogan, like I said when the show started, it was Mr. T that that really legitimized Hulk Hogan. He was side by side with Mr. T in the early 80s. He was around. He still chose to act that way and talk that way, so he don't get a pass.
No, he doesn't. And I mean, yeah, you hanging out with well, I don't think you get a pass with hanging out with Dennis Rodman anyway, because Rodman has lost his mind. But
right.
But that nigga married himself.
Right, man.
But I know you got other callers, man. But yeah, it's a mixed bag. So yeah, I kind of feel sad about my childhood, but at the same time, it's like it's neither here nor there for me.
Right. You have a good one, brother.
You too, bro.
Yes, sir. I noticed a lot of all y'all racists in the chat room. Y'all got a lot to say in the chat, but ain't none of y'all calling in. Somebody said show some respect. I am showing respect. I'm showing respect to black Americans to remind us of who we dealing with. That although we grew up loving Hulk Hogan because we love wrestling, he was a racist piece of shit. So yes, Nicola. Matter of fact, your name is Nicola. You ain't even from America. What the fuck you doing here? You ain't no real American. Get the fuck out of here. This is American talk. Black Americans had to grow up idolizing people that hate us. This is red, white, and blue talk. Your flag got yellow or fucking green in it or some other shit. This is American talk. If you ain't American, let me say something real quick to anybody in here. If you haven't been in America for at least 150 years, whether you're Latino, white, black, whatever. I don't care what this isn't a racist statement. This isn't a colorist statement. The only people that can talk who are people who have been in the United States of America since the mid-1800s. If you ain't been in America since the mid-1800s, you don't understand the context in which we're talking about. because you're a Johnny come lately. Shut up, learn, and listen to your daddy. What's up, Carl? What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up? It's Chris Rad from Houston, Texas.
What's on your mind, brother?
Oh, nothing, man. I just wanted to give my quick two-piece on the Hulk Hogan's death. You know, there's Hulk Hogan, the character that I love as a kid, and then there's Terry Bollea, the person that I don't give a shit about. So, R.I.P. to Hulk Hogan. F. Terry Bollea. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for giving us a call. Thanks for giving us a call. Somebody said it's an Italian called Christopher Columbus. Christopher Columbus never came to the United States, dickhead. Learn your history. We're not in the Caribbean. We're not in Santo Domingo where Christopher Columbus landed. We're in the United States of America. He never came here. Bad example. And hit the like button. We got a lot of people mad at this program. There's a lot of people that are really mad. So this is what I'm going to need y'all to do. As soon as I'm done with this video, if you're watching right now, circle back in about an hour. I'll be done in the next 10, 20 minutes. But circle back if you're still here and leave a comment after the video is done recording. Please leave a comment after to push this up because I'm looking at the chat right now. I can see the thumbs down, and this is the most thumbs downs I've ever gotten on the show. I got 80 thumbs down right now. I got 606 thumb up. Y'all can't see thumbs down. I can. I have 80 thumbs down right now because they mad than a motherfucker. What's up, Christopher Ellis? Get F. Nicola, whatever his name is. Yeah, right. This isn't even about race. If you're not an American, get the fuck out of here. You ain't been, look. My blood is red, white, blue. I'm a real American. If you're not a real American, you're not part of this conversation. Because real black Americans, we're the real Americans. And this is a conversation that we're having amongst family. This is a family conversation. We as black Americans grow up loving people who hate our guts. And we having a family conversation about growing up loving people who hate our guts. And if you ain't none of us, you cannot participate on this conversation because you don't understand. Hulk Hogan didn't call whatever country you from Nicola. Every country every race, every group has its derogatory words. He didn't use the derogatory word of whatever your country is, Nicola. Got somebody that's named Nicola they ain't got half the intelligence as Tesla. What's up, Project Leroy? Keep making them mad. That's right, we're going to keep making them mad. We're going to keep making them mad. We are going to keep making them mad. Because that's what it's all about. Oh, you said you live in Germany? Well, get your ass out of here then. You motherfucking Nazi. You motherfucker live in Germany where you got a whole goddamn right-wing party that's coming up again. They trying to bring back 1930s Germany. You over there, man. If you don't, man. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Dennis from Atlanta, Georgia.
Dennis from Atlanta, Georgia. What's on your mind?
No, I'm just thinking, man, is that like, you know, I'm 45 years old, so I grew up in the era of Hulkamania. I was 5 years old when the whole thing took off, and I grew up, you know what I'm saying, from 85 until about 92 when I was 12. You know, that was my whole affection, my whole love for Hulk Hogan was, you know, for those 7 years. And then he came back with the NWO and recreated himself and rebranded himself and, you know what I'm saying, pretty much saved professional wrestling, you know, when it was kind of like in limbo in 95, 96. But the thing that I realized since the end of that era and since we've been able to do a lot more research and deep dive into the backgrounds of a lot of these wrestlers and a lot of these executives who run these companies, is that wrestling as a whole is racist. Not just Hulk Hogan. I don't understand why Hulk Hogan has been, maybe because he's the most polarizing figure in the history of wrestling, maybe, but I don't know why he got singled out as being this racist person when WWE goes all the way back to Vince McMahon Sr., his daddy, Vince McMahon himself. We can go to
let me help you out
Triple
why.
H's and HBKs.
Let me help you out
All
why.
these guys here.
Let me help you out
You
why.
said what?
Let me help you out as to why, because I don't like people to be confused. I like to clear confusion. The why is Hulk Hogan was on tape telling his daughter not to date niggers. The why is
I get that.
the why is the people of the George Foreman grill, the people who made it, said that Hulk Hogan was never in running to be the face of the grill, although he went on Howard Stern in multiple shows saying that should have been his instead of George Foreman's. The why is a lot of Hulk Hogan's other wrestling friends, the people within wrestling, have been very vocal, including the Ultimate Warrior up until the day before he died. They were very vocal, Macho Man Randy Savage, up and down the line about the ain't shitness of one Terry Bollea. So his co-workers and his actions are the reason why he's being singled out.
What you're saying. No, all that you're saying. Like I said, I'm 45. Me and you about the same age. Everything you're saying, I know all the information about that, and I know exactly everything that you're saying about the Warrior and all that good stuff there. I'm just saying to you is that, again, I feel like for example, right? You got white people who are screaming that Hulk Hogan is a racist. I don't like him. Whenever in your life have you seen somebody white who is basically an open racist that white people have an issue with?
Yeah, plenty.
That doesn't make sense.
I said, no. Yes, it does. No, it makes
that doesn't make sense.
No, it makes complete sense.
So a lot of white people, they're angry.
Makes complete
They're
sense.
angry at Hulk Hogan not because of him being a racist.
It makes complete sense because one thing about racism and white supremacy is they like their racism and white supremacy underneath. They always come. I'll give you an example. Don Imus. Everybody knew Don Imus was a racist. But the minute he said those are some nappy-headed hoes, what did the rest of white America do? They shitted on him. The thing about racism in white America is to deny racism exists. So when a white American crossed those boundaries and you can no longer deny racism exists, white America turns its back on those particular white people and they become what Neely Fuller called a white sacrifice. You cannot, it's bad for the business of racism, white supremacy, to be an open racist. Same thing with Bill O'Reilly. Bill O'Reilly was an open racist. We all knew he was racist back when he was on the radio. It wasn't until he came out and said something. You cannot be white and be open with it. That's bad other white people so that they can feel good about themselves and look good to everybody else. They gonna throw you under the bus. See, look, I'm not like him. That's a game they been playing. That ain't nothing new. What you surprised at?
No, what I was saying was that I feel that a lot of white people who are wrestling fans are not mad at him because he was racist. They're mad because a lot of these adults who are in their 40s and 50s, their childhood was pretty much, they looked at their childhood as a waste of time supporting somebody who has been this piece of shit for so long. So it's kind of like we're going to use the racist moniker to destroy him because he prevented some of our favorite wrestlers growing up, even the black ones. He prevented a lot of black wrestlers from becoming champion because Bad News Brown was supposed to be world heavyweight champion. He never got it because of Hogan. Even white wrestlers were supposed to be champion, like Jake Roberts, Ted DiBiase. They didn't get the title because of Hulk Hogan. Bret Hart got the title, but it was toward the end of Hogan's run with WWE. So I feel that a lot of white wrestling fans are calling him racist and jumping on that racist bandwagon, not because he said something derogatory about somebody black. A lot of white people in this country don't give two fucks about anybody black. To sit there and hold a grudge against another white man for calling somebody black, I will never believe that. They just don't like the fact that he...
Let me help you out, my brother. I got to get the next call. We're not here for feelings. We're not here for belief. When I talk white supremacy, I don't talk it from an emotional point of view at all. We talk about it from a structural point of view and how it behaves and how it operates, independent of how I feel. And the consistent pattern of behavior, whenever a white supremacist comes out and they're open with their white supremacy, the next step is the other white people are going to come out against that open white supremacist. That's how it's always been. It didn't start no time new. It's been that way. Not only always. That's how it's been since the 60s, since the late 60s. Since 68 into 70, when a white person declares themselves as racist, all the other white people come out against them and rally against them. That's how it works. And then everybody goes undercover. They don't say nothing. And then like what happened with Hogan, 2 or 3 years later, when everything is quieted down, when everything is good, when nobody's talking about it, they slowly and bring them back out. They don't care about black people. This isn't about them caring about black people. This isn't about them.
We agree on that.
This isn't about them liking black people. This is political leverage they have amongst each other. One thing black people, like you got to understand, is white people don't like each other. They hate each other. So they have no issue with throwing one another under the bus at all. So that's how they exist. That's how they exist when we're not around. So when you get something like this, where when someone being the racist is the worst thing you can be socially, and on top of that, the reason why he had to get kicked out of the Hall of Fame, things like that, is because of sponsorships. Money is silent. Companies and corporations that hand out sponsorships don't want to be tied to nothing racist, although they are oftentimes the most racist. So you have pressure from the money, you got pressure from the people, and when it's a chance to throw another white man under the bus, they take no short time in doing so, and Hulk Hogan was part of that because, like his co-workers said, not me, I didn't met him, but like his co-workers said, they say he's a pretty shitty human being. So that's a chance for them to obfuscate their responsibility and their racism and how they are by pointing at him. It's the same old story. All right, man?
Do you think if Hogan wasn't, now take the racism away, do you think if Hogan wasn't a shitty person at his job otherwise, the racist part wouldn't have even fucking mattered?
When you say take the, you say, I don't get that. You said take the racism away.
Hold on, real quick. Wait, hold on, real quick, and then I'll let you go because I know you got to get to somebody else. A real quick comparison, and I'll let you go.
No, ask me that. I want to hear that question again because I didn't get the question.
No, I'm asking you is that, well, it wasn't really a question. I'm telling you that I think the other people, the other wrestlers as employees were angry at him because of the person he was outside of being racist.
Here's one thing I don't do. I don't do feelings, and I don't do mental gymnastics. Hulk Hogan came out of his own words and said, and called his daughter's boyfriend a nigger out of his own mouth. No one told him to do that. We weren't even around. He hired a black person last year, July 3rd last year. He hired her. Not me, not you, not nobody we know. They hired her off of her resume. Her resume showed that she was worth hiring. And when she showed up and showed that she was black, she got fired. That's his choice. He got to live with his choices. All right, man, but that's giving us a call. One thing we do not do here is mental gymnastics. We don't make fake accusations, and we don't play devil's advocate for when we see things happen. Nobody told Hulk Hogan to hire that woman based on her merit and then fire her based on her color. That was his decision. Fine. Okay. Whatever. That's your decision. Cool. Now, I make the decision to make the determination that based on your action, denying the access of wealth and denying money and the access of money to a black person because of the color of their skin, I make the determination that's what I think you are. And there's nothing anybody can do to make me feel anything different. And I'm not going to put myself through mental gymnastics to make me change my mind. If Hulk Hogan, if not being racist meant something to him, show me the black organizations he donated money to. He's rich. You got to donate money to foundations. As a matter of fact, I have a foundation, the Black American Music Family Tree. What did Hulk Hogan do to make it right? Where did he put his money? What cause did he support to show that his forgiveness? Because when Kyrie Irving posted a video, he had to donate in order to show recompense. He had to donate to a cause of the people who felt slighted at the video that he posted. Y'all remember that? Why other people, when other people get offended, why when black people offend other groups, why do we have to donate millions of dollars to their causes? But when other groups offends us, all they got to do is apologize to other white people and we got to move on. What's up, Carter? What's the name? Where you calling from?
I'm Paul Green. That's it. Paul from Brentwood, New York.
Paul from Brentwood, New York. Man, you got a radio voice. What's on your mind?
I get that a lot.
Yeah, what's on your mind, brother?
Yeah, I can't stand that people say, "Oh, I wanna say RP the character Hulk Hogan," but like you want to put aside all the stuff that he done.
Who's putting aside all day? Did you watch the first 30 minutes of the show?
That and other content creators who feel conflicted about.
No, but I'm saying put it aside. Like the first 20 minutes was talking about what he's done. We ain't putting to the side what he done.
Well, if it's
he did all those great things. He was a star.
Not you.
Uh-huh.
Not you.
Okay.
But I also saw other content creators.
I think your phone is going off, brother.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, hold on. Sorry.
I don't know what's going on with your brother's phone. Call back if you can, my brother. Call back if you can. We have a bad connection on my end, so call back if you can. Great Black Shark. I appreciate the 50 bone. Much appreciated, Great Black Shark. Yeah. Great Black Shark got a channel. I meant to say something earlier about your channel. I was watching Great Black Shark like last week. I was watching Great Black Shark like last week. And he be saying he be landing in on motherfuckers. And Great Black Shark got one of them trustworthy voices too. I feel like that brother Great Black Shark cannot lie. He got one of them trustworthy Southern voices. Like, this nigga got to be telling the truth. Let's see if that's a caller again. Let's see if we have a clear connection this time.
From
Matt. Let's see if we have a clear connection this time. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up, man? It's Matt.
Oh, Matt's different caller, but what's on your mind, Matt?
Man, listen. Ain't nobody a bigger wrestler than I was, a wrestler fan. I done watched them all. I done, ate the ice cream bars, the old wrestling.
Hey, them ice cream bars was the shit. Them superstar bars?
That's a fact, bro.
Nigga.
And listen, I get what people are saying, man. I get why, if he didn't offend your side, I get why you offended that we view him that way. But listen, we got to stay on code. And look, I don't wish death upon nobody. I don't wish anything on anybody. But, just like they love to talk about follow the law and they love to talk about responsibility and accountability. Well, listen, when you offend people, you got to take accountable. He never took accountable for who he offended. And honestly, he never made no amends. He didn't care. He went on about his life and didn't care at all. And that's his right. He don't have to do it. But at the same time, it's our right as a group that he offended that we don't have to offer, this wonderful forgiveness and all this other stuff. Like, fuck all that, man. I mean, look, I don't wish death upon a man, but it came, it happened, and guess what? I'm gonna move on.
Yep, move on down the road.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, the guy was a snitch. He broke up, because wrestlers back in the day, they needed better health insurance. They needed better money. Vince McMahon was basically telling you what you were going to make. There was really no room for people to negotiate. So he ruined that. He was throwing other younger wrestlers under the bus. I mean, this is all documented from his own people in his own business. So, these people that are thinking it's just one side that don't like that man was not liked by multiple people in multiple groups on multiple sides of the business. So, I get it. Maybe for certain people that he didn't have any real dealings with and didn't throw under the bus, you can go ahead and mourn. But we good.
He said, we good. Man, thanks for getting us a call.
Appreciate you, boss.
Iconic S says, F Hogan. Y'all stupid. Yeah, like, again, you see that pattern of behavior. Like, overall, as a like, again, you cannot deny what Hulk Hogan did. You cannot deny what he did. You cannot. But I don't apologize for my stance. Every time a black person died, they get shortchanged their greatness. Like the other day, like what's his name? When what's his name died. Y'all know who died the other day from Black Sabbath. Chat room. I'm drawing a blank. Black Sabbath died yesterday. Come on, chat room. Guitar player from Black Sabbath. Come on, what's his name? Chat room, help me. Chat room, help me out. What's his name?
Call from.
1 second, caller. This is gonna be my last call. 1 second, caller. Oh yeah, Ozzy Osbourne. I was reading something on Ozzy Osbourne. That racist son of a bitch. He was too. We saw him and his whole racist ass family. By the way, they was talking on that sorry ass reality show. I saw something that said he was a godfather of heavy metal. He's the one that discovered heavy metal. No, the fuck he didn't. No, the fuck he didn't. Now that was one of the great bands that white folks liked. But when it comes to that heavy electric guitar sound, you got to go Hendrix before him, and before Hendrix, you got to go with John Lee Hooker. That was all that heavy metal, that whole sound that Black Sabbath had. That was nothing but white John Lee Hooker. These motherfuckers can never give us credit. When they Grace died, the news stopped. The world got to stop. They get to talk about how great they people are, and they don't talk about none of their controversies. But when our people died, well, remember that one time when he did that one thing in 1984? That's what happens with us. And then they get credit for shit that they didn't even create. He didn't create no goddamn heavy metal. That wasn't nothing but white John Lee Hooker and Jimi Hendrix. But they want to make it seem like he was some fucking god instead of talking about the time he bit a fucking bat's head off in a live show. So no, I do not apologize from my point of view. What's up, caller? What's the name? Where you calling from?
This is Miss Nisi from Charleston, West Virginia. Hello, Dewan. How are you?
Miss Nisi, you're going to be my last call for today. What's on your mind?
Quick statement. Hulk Hogan, let's just say, I hope they televise how many folks at his funeral. Now that'll tell the story. you know what the preacher man always say. You need at least 6 people to carry your casket. Now, am I lying?
Well, you ain't lying. You're not lying
and
at
that's all I got to. That's all I got to say. Be blessed.
All right, thank you. You have a good one. Yeah, that was the last call of the day. Somebody said we're all racist. No, Abreu, you're racist. Don't say we. I've never denied anybody anything based on the color of their skin. If I had a white contractor or a Latino contractor or an Asian contractor that was best for the job, they got the job. I've rented apartment buildings to white folks, to Mexicans. No Asians really apply to my buildings because Asians, they hegemonics. They saw a nigga on this building, they didn't apply. But we ain't all racist. You racist, Kevin. Now own it. Don't try to say we. People love to put we on they bad shit. I ain't racist. I can work with anybody. As long as I stand on my 2 feet and hold my chin up in the air and have my pride and dignity, I can work with you. Fuck you mean we are racist? You racist. Yeah, but great about your fact. We treat folks much more fair than they treat us, right? So, yeah, we can go down the line from like all the Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf, and because that sound of heavy metal is more related because both rock and roll and heavy metal are blues centered. Rock and roll and heavy metal are blues centered, but heavy metal took on the side of the blues that was more dark, that was more electric guitar heavy. So when you look at the heavy metal side, it wasn't rooted in. I know a lot of people throwing out Little Richard and Buddy Guy. I'm not Buddy Guy. Little Richard and Chuck Berry. But black folks, that's part of my job here to teach. Also, our history and our music is far more expansive than even we give ourselves credit for. Little Richard and Chuck Berry, they inspired a different style. They inspired more of your UK invasion, more of that style of rock and roll. The heavy metal style of rock and roll didn't go to Chuck Berry. It didn't go to Little Richard. It went more to John Lee Hooker. It went more to Muddy Waters as far as guitar play and the chords and the styles. That was more John Lee Hooker. Okay? You have different black people that inspired different forms of white music. All white music wasn't inspired by the same black people. There was inspired by different black people. So when you're listening to the Grateful Dead, when you're listening to Ozzy Osbourne and all them, you're more so listening to Muddy Waters and John Lee Hooker. So remember that, folks, like black people. I'm about to end this, but we got to end it by saying this. At the end of the day, we got to know that it's okay to have this double consciousness. On one hand, Hulk Hogan meant the world to us, those of us that watched wrestling as kids. I watched the Hulk Hogan era, and I stopped wrestling. I stopped watching around like 93, 94, 93, and I started watching again with the Attitude Era with Stone Cold and The Rock. And I stopped about 2000, 2001. But with that being said, even Hollywood Hogan, when Hollywood Hogan had the black beard and the white mustache, and he came out that that shit was funny than a motherfucker. I love that Hollywood Hogan NWO era. That shit was crazy living through that. Just like I love the Hulkamania, the Mega Powers. That was the name of the group. One of the great 1988 was a great fucking year for me. 1988 was probably the best year ever. The Lakers went back to back, beating the Celtics, beating the Pistons. The Dodgers won the World Series. Or Hershiser, Bob Gibson. I think his name was Bob Gibson, the one that did that fist pump with the mustache. Something Gibson. It was a great time in LA. Police Academy 5 had just come out. Police Academy 4 or 5. Naked Gun had just dropped. The first Naked Gun. And Hulk Hogan teamed up with Macho Man Randy Savage to form the Mega Powers. And when they get that handshake, when they were like, yeah, brother, we're going to be the best ever, and we're going to do it. Yeah. I'm the Macho Man Randy Savage with the great Hulk Hogan and Miss Elizabeth right here. We're going to come for you. Because come on now. Then Hulk Hogan coming in. Well, brother, we got the Miss Elizabeth. Well, Mean Gene. Man, those memories are going to live with me forever. I'm always going to have good memories of Hulk Hogan saying, well, Mean Gene. I'm always going to remember what it felt like when I saw how scared Hulk Hogan looked at Zeus. When I saw how scared Hulk Hogan looked at The Undertaker. Who remembers when The Undertaker first started in Survivor Series? And Hulk Hogan looked at him like, no. And he was as a kid like, oh no, this dude is about to kill Hulk Hogan. And Paul Bearer was like, Hogan, you're going to be next to go into the casket of the Undertaker. Ooh. Man, that scared the fuck out of me when I was a kid. Man, I can't live the memories down. And again, that's part of the double consciousness of being black in America. We grow up loving people that hate our fucking guts. You don't have to ignore the good feelings that you got from that time. Somebody said wrestling is racist. Why do we still watch it? No, the 6'8" Aquarius. Why do you still watch it? I stopped watching that shit 20 years ago. And no one is saying wrestling is racist. We're saying Hulk Hogan is racist. Yeah, and wrestling is racist. So is the NBA. So is the NFL. So is baseball. So is YouTube. YouTube is racist, but you still own it. I use products around my house that are owned and run by racists. And guess what? Still got to do it because, again, that's part of the double consciousness of this show. Of America, not the show, of being black in America. That's part of the double consciousness of being black in America. We have to participate with people who hate our fucking guts. We got to spend money with people who hate our guts. We got to turn on TV shows with people who hate our guts. Because you can't be an isolationist at the same time. You got to have a community. You got to be out there. You got to be around folks. But I appreciate the super chat, 6'8" Aquarius. But no, I stopped watching wrestling damn near a quarter century ago. But just because I stopped watching it, don't mean I lose the feeling that Hulk Hogan once gave to me. And in my opinion, Hulk Hogan is and always has been and always will be the face of wrestling. And Hulk Hogan did a great job as the face, as a torchbearer for the wrestling. He did his job and he did his job well. Still a racist son of a bitch. And I ain't gotta like him. All right? Y'all have a good one. Remember, there are no perfect messengers. Only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. I'm about to turn this off, so make sure all of you here right now, all 640 plus, make sure that y'all leave a comment as soon as the video's over with. Black Simon, yeah, Mr. P, we covered that earlier. Mr. T blew him up. I thank you for the super chat. Mr. T blew him up. Yeah. Make sure y'all leave a comment when this video's over with. All right? And share it. Y'all have a good one. We out.